a democracy.
How about 3,400? How about HR 3,400? Are you familiar with that, sir?
Not familiar with 3,400. Let me move on to number 7.
Thank you. I am a Republican, but first and foremost, I'm a conservative. I don't believe this is just about health care. It's not about TARP. It's not about left and right. This is about the systematic dismantling of this country. I'm only 35 years old. I have never been interested in politics. You have awakened the sleeping giant. We are tired of this. This is why everybody in this room is so ticked off. I don't want this country turning into Russia, turning into a socialized country. My question for you is, what are you going to do to restore this country back to what our founders created according to the Constitution?
Well, there are a few people who didn't stand up and applaud, but not too many. I get a fairly firm message from the support you have, young lady. When you asked me to defend the Constitution, that's what I've been.
I want to tell you, Senator, that I have spent 2 weeks on my own trying to read that bill and trying to understand it. It's like a Russian novel. And yet in the bill itself, it says many times the requirement for plain language, and I can cite you the pages and the line numbers because I've had it up on the computer. It's very difficult to understand, very difficult. This is the most important bill in my lifetime. And my granddaughter will pay for this bill in its present form, whatever form that is, in terms of HR 3200. I have 3 very important concerns that I think are shared. One is, Obama talks about $600 billion. The Congressional Budget Office talks about $1.1 trillion. I have spent 40 years in government, and I've never seen a program come in at the right price and stay at that price. Secondly, although that bill says nothing about abortion or reproductive rights, I have read that very carefully. There are 9 amendments in the Senate and the House which have attempted to prevent taxpayer funding in that bill. Rejected. Senator Coburn, Senator Hatch, Senator Mikulski, and Representatives Pitts and Gingrich. They've all been rejected. You know what the bill does say, and I can cite the page and the number? There will be no health care until you are born. While that baby is in the mother, we don't count that as a person. I can cite the page and the number. Medicaid and CHIP will only cover, quote, at the time of birth, close quote.
I will not pay for this bill. I'm going to jail. If you
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. You got the microphone.
And these, by the way, these are not talking points. These are my own, all right? And I just have one other thing. I have spent 35 years in information technology. I've read this bill very closely. You are about to concentrate more information about more Pennsylvanians and Americans in this bill in one place in the computers of Washington than has ever occurred. In fact, the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, says it gives you the right to enter using our Internal Revenue Service. And page 58 talks about entering our own accounts, because financial responsibility has to be ascertained. My final comment is this. Massachusetts has tried something like this. Tennessee has tried something like this. Why don't we take a look at what has worked and what has failed there, and maybe start it in a blue state Give it all we've got in one state, but don't concentrate all this power in the bureaucrats and their computers in Washington. You'll be gone. By God, the bureaucrats will still be there. We don't know their names, we don't know their faces, but they'll be making our decisions for us and for my children.
Well, let me... When you raise the question as to cost,